Okay. Bingo. Bingo. This is Facebook Live. I'm looking at you. You're Facebook Live. And over here, this is YouTube. Although I'm not doing YouTube Live right now. I'm going to post this, so I'm recording it for YouTube. The only thing that's live right now is Facebook Live. So hello there, Facebook. Let me make sure I'm getting comments. Low network connection available. Okay, says one watching. Let's see. Who's that one? Reviewers. Sue Taylor. Hi. Hi, Sue. I see you. Let me make sure, invite friends. We got a whole bunch of friends. Alan Ott. There he is. Hi, Alan Ott. I'm saying low network connection. So hopefully, is there any flutter, Alan? Or is it nice and smooth? I'm in a room in the library and there's a fan going, and it sounds kind of loud to me, but let me know if anything seems off or not right, and I'll see if I can change it. But I think that the sound probably, I'm loud enough. I'm loud, so don't worry about it. Oh, I'm recording. Is it bouncing in and out? Because it tells me that it volume. Volume's not good. Sound. That shouldn't make any difference. Is that any better? I can also plug in the headphones, although it's kind of arduous and I don't like it. So I'm going to speak up a little bit louder. Is this better? Or it keeps saying lower network connection and then it goes off. But is this streaming solid, or is it getting jumpy? Alan, tell me. So I'm just going to go ahead. I can use, if it really is bad, tell me, because then I'll put the headphones in and maybe that'll help it. Maybe not. So, hi everybody. This is Jason Eagle. It keeps saying, you know what? I'm gonna, hey everybody, I'm gonna pop out real quick and then I'll come right back. I'm gonna start this whole thing all over again to see if let me look here. It says that's going, let me delete, and we'll look at Task Manager and we'll see if see what it's doing. We'll see if I can. Oh, hold on, there it was. There's Task Manager. Let me see what it says about. Let's go out of that. We'll pop back in here for a second. Sorry, it's not working very well. Please come back. It says that I'm live, so I'm gonna go over here and then we'll go over here. Okay, if anybody can let me know, another person, let's say Sue, Ellen, you got it. Okay, so this is Jason Eagle, Strategic Healing, and we're going to talk about some stuff. So first thing that I wanted to kind of go over is I wanted to go over some of the comments that I got from my first psoas video. My first psoas video that I did a couple years ago, that one's, it's I think like 67,000 views right now. And I got a lot of comments on it. And I've actually had people come into the office from all over the place because of it. I wrote an article too, also in Natural Awakenings in Michigan, and I got a lot of people that said pretty much the same stuff that they're saying here, which is usually people don't come in for articles, or they read them, but they don't say this. So they basically said it's as if you wrote it to me, you wrote it about me. And so the YouTube, or I'm sorry, the psoas 1 video. Let me go over and read some of these comments because they're really, really good as far as comments go, and what a video can do for people. And then also the psoas muscle. It is such, that's why I called it the hidden secret, because it's this hidden secret that is inside our bodies. Wow, there's so many secrets that are inside our bodies that they're not a secret. We just don't know how to use them. We don't know that it's there, and we don't know that they can cause so much problem and literally cause so much medical problem that people have surgeries, people have organs removed, people have all kinds of things, and it's not necessary many times because it's this muscle. And if this muscle is super, super tight or too loose, there's a whole bunch of issues that can go on with it that it can really mess with your whole life. So this one is a person, Brandon, said, this video brought tears to my eyes. For 4 years, I've been going to doctor after doctor, from MRI machine to MRI machine. This is common. I got a bunch of comments that say pretty much the same thing. Explaining my symptoms to anyone who will listen and being told there is nothing wrong with me. I saw a body worker recently after losing all faith in Western medicine. He told me he believed the issue was my hip flexor and psoas. Watching this aligns with everything. So watching the video that I did aligns with everything I've been experiencing for years of discomfort and feeling like I was insane. It is. Many people, when your psoas and your base is off, you feel like this doesn't, it's pain, and it's pain that doesn't add up. And then sometimes it feels like there's a tumor inside you, or it feels like something's seriously broken, that like you're going to get in trouble or you're going to die. And people go to the doctor, they go to the emergency room. How many people are literally mentally ill on the street because they have this problem and they've gone through this? I've known so many veterans that have gone through the VA and have gone through torture, and literally it's been torture for them because they run them around and do all this stuff, and they, they help many people, but there's many people in all situations where things like this, they don't have any way of knowing that this is what's going on. And so I felt I was insane. I'd even given myself panic attacks because I convinced myself my organs were failing, or I had some sort of cancer, because the pain I felt was so intense. This video really puts into perspective what is most likely going on inside my body. I'm so grateful for this content. Thank you so much. Yes, you're welcome. And then here's another one. I've had low back pain for decades, and I'm only 39. The Graston technique, which is using this metal thing to kind of scrape on your body, and it kind of feels like torture, but it breaks up scar tissue. It breaks up connective tissue, the fascia. If we have, okay, someone said about CBD. Yes, I'll talk about that in a second. But let me go to this one, which is, I'll add this on so that we're at it. So the brain is in the gut. And so again, remember, the CBD that we got from mother's milk is literally going, I may not be able to be with you, baby, when you hurt your knee, but I'm going to give a little bit of me in order to, you can carry me with you. You can carry the soothingness of your mother with you, which is she makes the pain go away. She strokes your hair and makes you, don't freak out so much. It's not going to hurt that bad. And if it does, you can handle it. I know you can handle it. So anxiety a lot of times comes from, because these neurotransmitters are going off and your guts is all nervous and stuff like that. So what the CBD does is it brings in this vibration to remind you of what you're supposed to do, but what you're supposed to do for yourself, because mom's not with you anymore, but mom put a piece of, here's how you can remember, and that's my analogy, but that's what the CBDs do, is they are, because they were originally designed to be in our body, okay? So What the CBD does is it brings in something that's been gone from your body, and it brings it in a familiar enough form that your body's going, oh, I remember. And even if it was never exposed to it. Now, there's some people that don't get affected by CBD. Some people, it actually goes the other way. So it's not for everybody. You have people that have this taken the CBD and it makes them nauseous. Now, there's many people that do the CBD and go, I was nauseous and I did it, or the THC and it took away my nauseousness. There are people that it doesn't affect them. There are people that it does the opposite. So it's not a one-touch all. But people with pain, I recommend that you try it. And you try the smallest dose, and if that doesn't do it, you go up to a higher dose. And you can get this stuff at gas stations and grocery stores and stuff like that. It's all over the place right now. You can get it in almost every state now. So you don't have to have where it's illegal, because it's not going to make you high. But it can relieve pain and anxiety an awful lot. There's another thing that also can relieve anxiety. It's another one of these neurotransmitters. It's called GABA. And it's you can find it at the health food store. Again, this is one of these things that's not for everybody, but if you are the person that you're missing the GABA, because it relates to serotonin and norepinephrine and all these other things in terms of happiness, sense of well-being, self-soothing, self-comforting, these types of things, which is that's what's supposed to be normal. Anxiety is not normal. It's not abnormal to be scared in a scary situation. You know, fear is something like any hero will tell you. It wasn't that I was scared. It was just like I just automatically knew what to do because I had training. And bravery is not about not being scared. It's going through it. What else can I do for child's anxiety? She's having severe anxiety after a couple strong. It says see more, but I can't do the see more. So it depends upon the child, but again, there's a whole bunch of things. Chamomile is always great in terms of chamomile as a tea. There are other things that are very, very soothing for anxiety that you can do, like compresses. Sometimes a cold compress, so like even like chamomile tea, that you cool it off in the fridge and then you put it on a towel and put it on the back of their neck. That's something that's very helpful. And you also drink it. You can do castor oil packs on the belly. You can do castor oil packs where you actually put herbs on the belly with the castor oil on it, and you can use chamomile. You can use valerian. Valerian is another type of sedative type of thing. You don't necessarily have to take it. You can smell it. I recommend, there's great aromatherapy things. And you basically take your kid into a place that has aromatherapy and just have them go through the smells and have them go, how's that one? How's that one? How's that one? You know, the real standbys that tend to calm people down, the peppermints tend to calm people down, camphor, eucalyptus, those type of things. Not only do they open your sinuses, but they're good for nausea. They help the nausea go away. Peppermint and these types of things. Then you get into some of the other flowers, like chamomile flower can be very, very soothing. What are some of the lemon? Lemon is another one. So any of the lemon, rosemary, we make an oil called the QC oil, or what's called the quantum coherence blend, and it's in a base of castor oil, and you can smell it, but it is the combination of lemon, orange, rosemary, I don't remember if it's camphor or menthol or something in that family, and lavender. Okay, and it's the combination of these things: a little bit of minty, a little bit of minty, a little bit of lemony. All brains, no matter where you are in the world, the limbic system responds to scents: cinnamon, coffee, chocolate, lemon. These types of things all over the world, wherever you're born, you were born with your brain that has a trigger that when you smell these things, you feel better. You feel more at home, you feel warm, you feel more centered, it calms you down. So for anxiety, these things can be really, really good. A lavender bath, put some Epsom salt, hot bath, and then just put some lavender oil in there. You can come up with your own blends, but taking a soak in a bath That's another thing. Anxiety can also be, especially in the child, is low salt. If they don't have enough salt, their nervous system is not working correctly. And so it's the last thing you would think of, but a lot of times children are very low in salt. So give them some salt water, or basically a quarter teaspoon in some water or juice or whatever, and just a child, even a small child, let's say 5 years old and they may weigh like 50 pounds or 60 pounds or something like that, they can take like a half teaspoon of salt, sea salt a day. If they have, for instance, pinworms, a lot of intestinal, you can literally put a full teaspoon in like 10 ounces, 10 to 16 ounces of water, and have them drink it all down. And what will happen is within an hour, they will have a flush. Literally, they will like have to sit on the toilet, and they'll have loose stool, and just a bunch of stuff will come out. It'll clean their intestines out. And for a child that's complaining of a headache, a salt flush will get it out. Or sometimes an enema, meaning what's poisoning their brain or causing pain in their head is what's in their colon. And their colon is filtering up and their brain is being poisoned. So a salt flush will get them to blast out, plus the salt is going in, and it's literally energizing their neurologic system. It's making them have, recharging their battery, making everything work better. That's always, so for children, the simple things actually do more bang for your buck than older people do. And it's always the first place to go, because it's staring you in front of your face and you wouldn't have thought of it, but it's the simple things. Dehydration can cause a lot of some problems. Again, anxiety. A lot of times people have a food allergy. The very top food allergy is looking out for is gluten or wheat. And so there's a whole bunch of people. I know people personally where their bipolarism, as well as just their whole anxiety profile, is because they were allergic to wheat. And it literally drove their brain nuts, right? And so by going off of wheat, going gluten-free, they suddenly were like, oh my God, I'm a different person. And so that's one of the things that I would also look out for. It's not just sugar, but it's the wheat. So a person, especially a child with anxiety, they're eating goldfish, they're eating all kinds of stuff that's just crappy American wheat, which is a poison. And it's a neurotransmitter disruptor. And some people are more sensitive than others. And you can have children. And then another one of the big heavy-duty neurotransmitter disruptors is monosodium glutamate. So Doritos, natural flavors, these types of things. Many times it's monosodium glutamate, which is, you can tell people all up and down that it's natural, but it's been so chemicalized, it's not natural anymore. And it's a bastardization to say that it is natural. But it's a neurotransmitter disruptor, and it screws your brain up. And you can have many children that they're ingesting a lot of monosodium glutamate and wheat, and it is literally like they've been poisoned in their brain with a poison. And so a child's anxiety can literally be they're being poisoned. They just don't know how to tell you. So these are things that you can just start trying, start eliminating things, start adding things, and just start putting them things, and see if it helps. And then the child will now go through whatever you find will work. Now you've then taken a child that has had something that's a weakness in their body, and now you've shown them how to deal with it the rest of their life. Because there are people that go through anxiety and then become anxious adults, and then go on, the drugs and everything, and have a horrible life. And it's true for them too, which is it was salt, or it was this, or it was that, and they just never found it out. So if you find the right key, and I can tell you it's going to be some of this stuff, it's going to make it better. Now you've just prepared your child for the rest of their life of success and happiness, and definitely not as much misery as they would have had. And so that's a good parent. That really is the definition of a good parent. And you're trying to be a good parent, but there's so much we don't know. But hopefully this helps. And you said, excellent, thank you. Yes, this will help. You'll find something that works with this child, and it will make them feel better. Is there something more that's beyond them? Yes, and maybe not. And if there is, keep coming back and I can help you. So let me scroll over one more. Um, Hold on one more second, and I'll give you a little bit more time to send some stuff in if you want to, just in the last minute. Again, I get so many things from this pelvic floor and the psoas thing. So many people respond to it and say, "You have helped me so much." Okay, yeah, this one about toe walking. I did a video on toe walking. When you see people out there, whether they are children or adults, and they're walking on their tiptoes, okay? That's a sign of the brain's not working the way that it's supposed to, okay? Some people are born into this world with more and less, okay? Is there anything you can do about it? That's why I did a video. So not sure if it came across as well as I wanted to, which is when I saw this person, could you help these people? Yes. If you get them to walk on their heels, because it's just as simple as says, honey, get off your toes and walk on your heels. Honey, let's go into the dance studio and look at ourselves in the mirror and see what it looks like and see what it feels like. Because you can train that and retrain that. And what it will do is you'll take a person, you'll find, and it's even people that have lots of anxiety and stuff like that, because sometimes the brain is not developed the way that it has. And the toe walking is they haven't gone into, the brain is not fully developed. Can we get the brain to fully develop? Can you get it to finish its job of cooking? Yes. You can by training. So if you got brain problems, you can fix it with the body. If you got body problems, you can fix it with the brain. They tie into each other and you can go both ways. So toe walking can be a sign of reduced neurologic function. But it's like the brain, if you exercise it, just like the arm, if you exercise it, you can build it as a muscle. You can build neurologic connections. Stimulus makes connections grow. And so it's this is being stimulated, but this is not being stimulated. So that means this part of the brain is working, but this part of the brain is not working. And the brain works best when you are walking heel to toe, because it's the way that we're designed, and because then you're sending signals across the whole foot, and it's all of these arch bone muscles that are sending all the signals to where you are. And toe walkers is what they're doing is they're walking so that they don't put the whole weight on the foot, and so then it's not sending. So the brain is always being starved of information, and that information translates to higher levels of information in terms of being able to do better math, like standing on my toes and then standing on my heels. See which math works better. You will find that people that have a better gait are able to think better, think faster, do more higher level functioning type of thing. So the people that are the smart, geekers, that are hackers, that are sitting at a computer like this, you're choking your brain off. That's why I was just telling a person today, it's like, if you look at some of the highest functioning brain people, physicists and lawyers and stuff like that, if they're smart, and if they work for, like, say, Google and stuff like that, the smart ones, the ones that are the highest paid, the ones that are really paid for their brain power, they don't sit at a desk. They have a stand-up desk, and then they also have a treadmill desk. And then they also are on their mobile machines in terms of being able to, or like, for instance, the heads-up display in their glasses and stuff like that. So they're on their computer when it's being filtered in through their glasses, but their head is upright and they're walking and they are moving, because as you move, you are pumping the cerebral spinal fluid, which means I got to think of that number, or I got to think of like that move ahead of lunch, that lawyer move, like I got to have a fast brain. This is slowing your brain down. Speeding your brain up and making it work at optimum function is walking in the gait pattern. Walking, because as you walk, what you do, I've said this before, which is the correct gait pattern is opposite arm swings forward and opposite leg swing forward, which means both sides of the brain are working at the same time, because this one's got to do this side and this one's got to do this side. It crosses. And so but when you're sitting at a computer, usually you're on right brain or left brain or right brain. You are one or the other, but you're not really crossing the bridge. But if you cross the bridge, you'll be able to use both sides, plus the middle, plus the body, meaning you're jump-starting your brain and literally sending more energy into where you need it, which is higher level critical thinking stuff. And so, like I said, the high-priced lawyer, when he's on an important phone call, he's got his headphones in and he's pacing around the room. He's not sitting down talking. He's pacing around because he's jump-starting his brain. So that can work for all of us. Going back to the heel walking, which is, do I need to get smarter? Work on your gait. Work on walking. Working on having really good posture, and have somebody look at you and then start to, like I've been telling my wife, and she helps me, get your head back. You notice me, I've been multiple times. I see myself in the camera going, oh crap, get my head back. Because I'm falling forward too. And I'm fixing it, but it's an old pattern. But you notice I'm remembering it a lot. And that's all you can do is and eventually build up the muscles back here and release the muscles back here, because these are too tight and these are too weak. And then it becomes normal and it becomes automatic. Automatic is what we want. So toe walkers, it's not that they're not smart, it's they're not using all their brain. And could you get them to use all their brain? Could you? And a lot of times you'll see they're very anxious. They tend towards a lot high anxiety. They tend towards some OCD type of stuff. They tend to be the people that have to check the locks over and over again. Could they normalize a little bit more? And could you do it like it's not the therapy that's going to do it? It's not the occupational therapy, and it's not the brain drugs. It's the feet. It's the walking. So get them to, if you know toe walkers, don't be afraid about offending them, but get in there and tell them, we could help you. You might want to look at this and look into this. And it's just as simple as training yourself to walk on your heels and rolling off your heels. And then they'll start to see their life get better and their brain function and all this other stuff. So, all right, this was a good one. I think we talked about a lot of great stuff, and we had some good questions, and thank you for joining me, and the people that, family members and friends and old friends and familiar friends and all this other stuff. So I really appreciate you coming in to hang out with me, and I look forward to seeing you. Again, it's going to be in another month, and we'll keep it going. So in the meantime, if you got any questions, send them in, and I'll address them, because I like to have questions that kind of go off, and if you want a little bit less dead air, then bring them in. Bring it on, baby. Okay, till next time. Bye.